welcome to Mormon Book Reviews, where evangelical encounters the restoration, and I'm with my co-hostess with the mostest, Rebecca, Bibliotheca in the house. Welcome.
Oh my gosh, I'm in Florida with Steve. This is unreal, and I've actually never been to Florida before, so this is pretty exciting for me.
And we're very excited to, first of all, this morning we went to a Bicker Tonight, as they're historically called, a Bicker Tonight church service, but also the Church of Jesus Christ, and we all seem to have enjoyed it.
It was amazing. I was really impressed by the volume of their singing.
Yes.
Like, it was incredible. I don't think I've heard anything like that. They were rocking the house, and they sang probably like 10 hymns.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was wonderful.
Nothing's planned. They don't even know what songs they're going to sing. They don't even know who's going to give the sermon in that morning. It was pretty amazing. So then we thought, okay, so we had this wonderful experience with my friends, and they actually prayed over me. The apostle blessed me because I'm going to be taking a trip to Utah next month, and so the apostle who's previously blessed me in a way, laid hands on me, and I asked for a blessing from the brethren, and they gave it to me for a safe journey in Utah. Now, if you notice, we're standing in front of this building, and it's the Clearwater building, and it's restored by the Church of Scientology. We just had a nice time talking to one of the people here with the Sea Org, as they're known as, and they have a little room here that's open to the public, and they share the tenets of L. Ron Hubbard, his history, the teachings of the church. What did you kind of think? What were your thoughts going into it, just watching it? Like, what were you expecting, and what did you think about our experience here in the Scientology building?
Well, I have to say I was very impressed with the building. Like, it is pristine, marble floors, gold furnishings. It was absolutely gorgeous. A wonderful guide, like Steve said, part of the Sea Org, a wonderful woman kind of took us around and showed us videos, books, materials. Like, we probably could have spent a lot more time there. It was really interesting. We watched an introduction to the life of L. Ron Hubbard, so kind of went through his origin story, and it was absolutely fascinating. I've always been very curious, and you knew where this building was, and so it was really fun to look around. It was really interesting.
Did you know that L. Ron Hubbard was the youngest Eagle Scout? Is that what they call him, Eagle Scout? In the
youngest
history.
Eagle Scout.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
Now we found out. Kind of
he
interesting.
was 13 when he got his Eagle.
Yeah.
So he was 13. Now, of course, a lot of Mormon parents help their kids get Eagles at like age 11.
Back then they didn't have
I was not one. I have 3 boys, and none of them achieved the Eagles. I was a Weeblos leader. I was a Cub mistress for a long time.
Oh, wow.
But after that, couldn't follow up.
I'm finding more stuff about her every time I see her.
You never knew. Well, 3 boys, you have to get involved in the Scout program. That's just how it is. So I had a lot of fun. But this is very interesting. And they talked, of course, about the book Dianetics, which maybe a lot of your viewers remember. It seemed like it was on everybody's coffee table in the 70s when I was young. It was written in the 50s, but did your parents ever read that? Of course not. That was the wrong question, right? Of course they never did. But it seems like LDS, I saw that on a lot of friends, in their living rooms, and they were looking at that, because it was just all about kind of, it was, how did they describe it? The first book written about kind of the mental, the mind. So it was interesting.
And of course, that the whole self-help stuff craze started in the 50s, and it kind of ushered that in, and actually was published in 1950. So it's at the very beginning of the whole thing, and just was huge, bestseller and everything like that. It was just interesting to hear. Like, I was talking to our guide, and she had mentioned that she likes to study other religions as well, because she finds that very fascinating. And apparently L. Ron Hubbard was somebody who liked to go and study the Eastern religions, and apparently influenced his worldview. It's just interesting to see kind of how a religion develops, right? And his birth.
And in the 20th century,
in the 20th century.
That was the point. It was a very interesting, from the absolute nothing, ground up, and his origin story was, he was an everyman, right? He did everything. He was an incredible human being, and then eventually ended up forming a religion. So.
It's always interesting. So
it is.
And it's also interesting just to see the formation, the history of how that all works. And I just wanted to say real quick, you're enjoying Florida, aren't you?
I'm loving Florida, and we're still here for a few more days.
Here for a few more days.
This is really fun. In fact, we're having a meetup.
Meetup, that's right. So you know what? I think I'm going to post this today. So I'm going to remind everybody that we're doing a meetup this Monday at Wolves Head in Lakewood Ranch, Florida, from 6:30 to 8:30. So make sure if you're in the greater Tampa Bay area, come on out. Check us out. You can just Google it, Wolves Head Pizza and Wings. It's right there, right about a few minutes from my home. We'd love to see you there. Thanks for reminding me of that.
I know. What time did we say?
6:30 to 8:30 tomorrow. So we'll post this later today here on NBR. Always a pleasure.
It was amazing. Excited to hang out in Florida with Steve. Steve, and then I guess in a few weeks, back in Utah.
Back to
so
Utah.
We're just together all the time.
And look for a meetup in Utah as
Yes,
well. So
yes.
folks, just remember, the most important thing is just remember all the voices of the restoration will be heard here on Mormon Book Reviews.